Ndị Igbo, ekelekwa m unu. Ụmụ Biafra, udo dịrị unu. Unu ga-alụ, unu ga-amụ, unu ga-azụ, unu ga-enwe akụ na ụba karịa dịka unu si nwebuo na mbụ. Maka na mgbe agha Biafra na Naịjirịa biri, ndị Naịjirịa kpachapụrụ anya mee ka unu daa ụbịam na ụkpa. Ha wee nye unu 2020 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, to say that no matter how much you are having in the bank, the only thing you will receive is 20 pounds. But where I'm going to this very moment is, why is it so that Igbo politicians are the oppressors on the Igbo populations? Why is it so that Biafran's politicians are the one intimidating, killing, selling their fellow Biafrans to the enemies, such as Bianco Juku is the red devil that the whole world knows, Jezebel. Ihe m na-ekwu ugbu a gbasatara ihe na-eme n'ala Igbo. Ihe anya mmiri akwa ji agba na mgbede anyasị ụkwana ihe nwanne mere nwanne ya. Ihe nwanne mere nwanne wee ihe anya mmiri akwa ji agba na mgbede anyasị. Ụfọdụ na ndị Igbo yiziri agwọ abalị nke anya na-amaghị ebe o dosara isi. Leenụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ka ndị refurie rebie ndị Fulani. Ọkwa ndị Igbo rere Maazị Nnamdi Kanu rebie ndị Fulani ka ha gbuo. Maka n'ihi gịnị? Ka ha kpata ego ha na-akpatabeghị, ka ha zụọ ezinụlọ ha, sọ ya nwa ka ha ma. For the interest of those who doesn't hear Igbo language and don't understand it, what I'm talking about this very moment, when I'm talking about it, is the primary thing or things that have frustrated the Igbo race so much in Nigeria, in terms of politics, in terms of popularity, in terms of dignity, integrity. So, like you've seen the wife of Dimodumegwojuku, she's a betrayer. She betrayed Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is the first prime minister of Biafra in exile. Ojukwu's wife, Bianca Ono, betrayed the prime minister of Biafra, Simon Ekpa, and others. There are many Biafran freedom fighters that were being sold, being betrayed alongside with Mazi Simon Ekpa. What I'm telling you this very moment should make sense to you. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB leader, was betrayed by Senator Peter Oba, which have died. And he make everything available to ensure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is killed. Joy Igbo kwe is one of those whose vow that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must die in the DSS custody. Hope Uzodinma masterminded and orchestrated the long detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS custody. Hope Uzodinma said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must die and rot in the DSS custody. Senator Orji Uzor Kalu is a betrayer. I'm mentioning them for you, who went to fight Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS custody and remind him, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu reminded Mazi Nnamdi Kanu how his mother and his father and friends were killed. That is how he too will die in the DSS custody and rot. Okeji Ikpeazu, former governor of Abia State, look for every means to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is dead. Dave Umahi from Ebonyi State made up his mind that whatever it will take him, he will do it in order to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no more alive. And in the process, Dave Umahi declared that Ebonyi State is not a part of Biafra land. Are you listening to me? Seeing how wicked Igbo politicians are and how useless they are. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Mba of yesterday, by every means possible, started writing to Finland and writing to the whole world that Simon Ekpa is a terrorist and is a criminal who deserves death. What are these people looking for? Destructions of life and property. Finally, they sent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Sokoto prison. Ladies and gentlemen, it has not ended. What is the work of Charles Soludo? Charles Soludo says that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release will not bring peace to Southeast. On the other hand, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must remain in the DSS custody as long as he is concerned. Even if he is dead, it does not matter. Hello? I believe I'm in the track. Finally, somehow, they get to somewhere and they believe, by the assurance of Igbo politicians to Nigeria government right from late Buhari's regime for 8 years to Tinubu regime, they arranged forcefully to sentence him to death. But whosoever that God has blessed, nobody will curse him. I'm making this very video because there are people who don't know the origin of the problem of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Nigeria. And let me quickly say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no problem with Nigeria, but Nigerians are looking for problem from Biafrans. There it comes that Buhari attacked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in his father's house and killed many people. through that medium, Mazen and the Kanus' father and mother died. My dear listeners, you can make your comment constructively. Some of you may say, what am I actually saying? What could suddenly come over me? Is it what I'm supposed to be saying? All this poem and rhymes. Yes, you may not understand. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a public figure, a man of his word, a man of integrity, a man that cannot be overlooked. And who is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to start with? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a political activist who believes in justice. He doesn't like injustice. Who volunteered himself to fight for the freedom of his people, Biafran people. And I and you, maybe some of you are not aware that Biafra was once a nation which existed as a sovereign nation for good 3 years by the hand of late General Odumegwu Ojukwu. So as you are listening to me this very moment, let it touch your mind. Ihe nwanne mere nwanne ya, ọnụrụbe nwanne agbala ọsọ. Maka mmekọ o doo n'anya na ndị Igbo sị na iwe nwanne anaghị eru n'ọkpụkpụ. Maka mmekọ o doo n'anya na iwe nwanne ugbu a erugo n'ọkpụkpụ, si n'ọkpụkpụ baa n'ụmị, nke na onweghị ihe ị ga-eme ka ị nwee ike kwụsị iwe nwanne. Maka na ndị chọrọ ndị Igbo ọnwụ, ndị na-achọ ka Igbo nwụchie, bụ ndị Igbo politicians, ndị Igbo na-achị ọchịchị. Ha kwesịrị ike na ewezụga ha na onwe ihe ọbụla a ga-eme n'ala Igbo ga-aganụ. Mana otu ọbụla o si wee dị ugbu a, ana m eme ka ị mara na agbụ ekere nwa ngwere erugo ọtụtụ. N'agbanyeghị ihe ọbụla ndị Igbo obodo obi, ọkwanụ ndị politishan Igbo obodo obi. Ya mere, ezi enyi m, ị ga-ekekwa ji n'ume. Ị wụrụ nwaanyị, ị ga-azọ akwa gị azọ, zọọ akụ gị azọ n'ukwu, maka na oge akara aka erugo. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu must be released, and released unconditionally for the interest of Biafran nation fulfillment. Igbo politicians are the ones who orchestrated terrorism in Biafra land, using that medium for political talks, killing Igbo youths, laying allegation on them, calling them terrorists. Don't forget Charles Soludo. Charles Soludo is a powerful liar, which you may not know, and a powerful murderer. He has killed many politicians in Anambra State, and he made life uncomfortable for traditional rulers in Anambra State. And he's still inflicting an untold hardship on the good citizens of Anambra State. But one problem so unfortunate with Igbo people is that they are smiling and suffering. They are dying and smiling. They don't want to say the truth. And they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to act on the truth. You can see recently the gubernatorial election that took place in Anambra State. If you watch that election properly, you see that Charles Soludo didn't win the election. But he has already prepared that it is going to be do or die. That if he didn't win, his opponent must be killed. And many people shall die along with his opponent. Because the power in Anambra State is in his hand. The military and police are under his control. And the possibility of voting him out of the government house is not there. So my people, some of you will like what I'm saying. Some of you will not like it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, kidnapped in Kenya with British international passport. And it's as good as he has nobody. And he's a nobody. Well tortured in Kenya, turned face down, his heart, his chest was on the cement floor for a good 7 days. But Bible says, and none of his bones was broken. So that torture did not kill him. He's still alive till today. Very sound, with hope because future is bright. My dear people, before I continue, I want to inform you that every part of Nigeria, they fight for their own people. Can you tell me the reason why Igbos does not fight for their own people, but rather they fight their own people? As you listen to one man on the social media, the man was busy saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is very lucky, that what fit him was a death sentence. He's supposed to die. He's supposed to be killed because he was found as a terrorist. He was arrested as a criminal. Are you getting what I'm saying? Then, and this is an Igbo man. And this Igbo man is above 70 years, very learned and very educated. But you can see in all his education and wisdom, he is completely useless. If he were to be animal and you kill him, nobody will eat his meat. Because he is a misfit for life. He's a misfit for the assignment. He's a misfit to be an Igbo man. Even Fulanis and Hausas does not think the way he thinks. Because it is very obvious and very clear to me that Hausas fights for their own people, irrespective of their faults and their terrorism ideologies. Fulanis fight for their own. Fulani does not kill Fulani. Despite that they are terrorists terrorizing everywhere. Are you getting it now? And the Yorubas does not kill their fellow Yorubas. It's only Igbos that kill their fellow Igbos for no reason. You may like it. You may not like it. The truth is but one. I'm making this video for those who believe that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's death will bring peace to Nigeria. And these are Igbos who are unity beggars. Igbo politicians, Igbo Ohaneze, Igbo Kwadike, Igbo monarchs, Igbo local chiefs, Igwes, they went to North to beg Sultan of Sokoto for Nigeria to be one, for them to be one. Foolishly, they refused to understand that what Sultan of Sokoto is eating and drinking with his family and the whole Fulanese in the northern region comes from Igbo land. Did you see the level of the foolishness of Igbo leaders? And they thought within themselves that by so doing, Nigeria will give them money. They are looking for nothing but money. Give an Igbo man 20,000 naira. He will kill his own brother, poison him, or use cutlass on him because of 20,000 naira. But the idea, the mineral resources, the unlimited mineral resources that belong to them are being used by Yorubas, Hausas, and Fulanese, make themselves comfortable. Quickly, let me tell you that Sultan of Sokoto buried a pipe from River State, from crude oil, River State, to north. He has, if it is not plenty, he has over 10 oil wells. Crude oil, as I'm talking with you, is flowing there. They said they discover oil in the north. You're just deceiving yourself. Go to Niger State, Mina. You will see that Abdulsalam Abubakar have many oil wells. Former head of state of Nigeria, Ibrahim Badamosi Babangida, has many oil wells. Tinubu have many oil wells. The Obas, the monarchs in Yoruba land have many oil wells. All the prominent politicians you are hearing about from Middle Belt and the northern region and Yoruba land have many oil wells. And these oil wells is what they are living on, crude oil. When we say oil wells, you are looking at the oil, the crude oil that cannot even finish in 200 years' time to come. But let me ask you with cool temper, how many oil wells does Igbo prominent men have in Southeast? How many oil wells does Biafran prominent men have in Biafra land? But they are not saying a word. They are not ready to divulge those oil wells in the north and Yoruba land. They are not ready to stop it. And this oil is there, gas is there, white oil, yellow oil, and many other ones, kerosene. But there is no light in Biafra land. There is no light in Igbo land. There is no light in Niger Delta. But Nigeria government supplying Niger Republic light. Supply many other countries light in Africa. But Nigeria doesn't have light. It's lantern or atunje. These are the things that rile the anger of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because oppression makes a wise man mad. And he says his own land of ancestors. His ancestral land has been taken from him, and his people are today walking like motherless and fatherless chickens. It grieves him at his heart. It pains him so much. It makes him to cry day and night. Helplessly he wept, and he decided to look for a way out for he and his people. Then the next thing that the same Igbo people joined hands to do was to kidnap him and plan to kill him so that his primary objectives and plans to save his people, Biafrans, will not be achieved. Finally, they landed him in the DSS custody. He wore one cloth for barely 5 years now, and nobody cares. My question is, when will Igbo people change, especially their politicians? When will their wickedness end, both men and women? Because I can tell you, the woman who came to social media and started insulting Mazen Amdekano, start telling him that he's a criminal and he's a terrorist and he deserved to die. That Omotosho have had mercy on him to sentence him to life imprisonment. So, woman, what is the difference between life imprisonment and death sentence? Since you are claiming to be wise, if you are there and you are claiming to be wiser than Mazen Amdekano, you know how to go about it to save Biafrans. What stops you all these years? And if you are talking based on what your husband can do, why is it so that your husband refused to present himself? I'm talking to Igbo elites. I'm talking to Igbo politicians. I'm talking to Igbo prominent men and women. They are the ones who destroyed Biafra land for their greediness, for their belligerency, for their self-complacency, for their uselessness. They believe they have sense more than every other person in the world. Little did they know that they are not regarded anywhere in the world. They are useless. They paid Omotosho. Let me tell you that Igbo politicians, when Omotosho said suddenly he is going on a break, was the time that Igbo politicians gave him bribe that reads in billions just to make sure that Mazen Namdekano died in the DSS custody and Biafra issue is forgotten. Let the poor masses in Biafra land continue suffering. Meanwhile, the politicians, will continue enjoyment. But here it comes. The great storms and thunder have blown on Mazen Namdekano and Ndi Igbo because many Igbo people, men and women, were killed. Millions of Biafrans were killed, and many of them got lost, and many of them are in the DSS custody till today for 5 years now. and many of them are in different prisons and police custodies in the whole country, which so many people has forgotten them in a hurry. May I remind you that those people are born by human beings. They have parents, they have family. But Igbo elites join hand with Nigeria terrorists to cage them, bundle them, to kill them, and make sure that they are no more existing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at Peter Obi and his politics. Peter Obi don't care about anybody from Igbo land, not even a child in Igbo land, because of Biafra. Peter Obi said Biafra nation has died 50 years ago. And he wants to become a president of Nigeria. My question is, where will he be and rule Nigeria? And where is the land of his nativity, since Biafra land has died? Biafra nation has died. All these useless comments and statements is just for Fulani Kabas and Yoruba Jagabans to allow him to become a president. He just wants to make a name. He was one time a president of Nigeria. And this name is only for him and his wife and his children. It does not even extend to his uncle or cousin. But Peter Obi goes to the north, looking for where Fulani terrorists kill people, bombarded schools and churches and mosques, to give them money in millions to take care of themselves. And when Peter B comes back, he will tell you that IPOB is a terrorist organization. So also his colleague and his brother from the same Anambra State, Charles Soludo, says that mayhem being committed in Biafra land, disaster, killings, and kidnapping, raping, and looting going on in Biafra land, that the 99.9% of those who are committing these atrocities are Igbos. He went to United States of America to say this, just to confuse the reasonable-minded Igbos in United Nations, for them to join him and support him to win election to come back for the second tenure. Now, all what he said, is it true? Today, Igbos are no more there, all right? But the genocide, the killings going on now, 99.9% of them are Wuchi people in Anambra State and Igbo land in general. So, uche gị dịkwa ya? Don't say that you don't know. We understand all that is going on. My brothers and my sisters, permit me to air my mind and my view. Igbo politicians are not supposed to remain. Igbo politicians are not supposed to be. Igbo politicians deserve death, to clear them from the grassroots, to wipe out their generation from the face of the earth. Igbo politicians and Igbo elites have put in the life of Igbos in jeopardy. And as I'm talking with you now, many Igbos are not in Nigeria. Many of them have relocated themselves to another country and to other places in order to see peace and sleep with the two eyes closed. Because their governors from Anambra, Abia, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo State are terrorists. They collude with terrorists to kill the good indigenous people of Biafra, which you will bear me witness that by their fruits you shall know them. By their statements, act of mischievousness, deliberate killings, life targeting, impunity killing, murdering in cold blood, stealing and terrorism, banditry and kidnapping in the Southeast are being orchestrated by Igbo politicians. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said no. Mercy and justice must reign. And they say he must die. Anyhow, you look at it today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have achieved what no president in Nigeria has been able to achieve. Both the past president and the present president, the incumbent one. No politician has ever achieved the kind positive and good result that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has achieved. My dear people, ladies and gentlemen, we shall not fold our hands and watch such legend from Biafra land to be eliminated. It is going to dawn on us, and it is going to be very bad. The judgment passed on him was illegal, and that is where Omotosho demonstrated that he collected a bribe from Southeast politicians and from Tinubu to pervert judgment to sentence an innocent person to life jail imprisonment. What do you have to say? Your comment is necessary. This is my documentary. I want you to take your time, excavate on it, inspect it at your own leisure time. You must come up with something significant. Now the sentencing to death. Appeal court rejected the death sentence, trying to explain to you that all what they did to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was fraud, because Nigeria government judiciary is fraud. Nigeria government security is fraud. Nigeria government police, DSS and army is fraud. Fraud in the sense that all of them are terrorists. They are from the pit of hell, and they have nothing to offer mankind. There the matter changes hand. Game becomes over. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has finally ride on the wings of the wind to show upper hand in demonstration. Ladies and gentlemen, all that glitters are not gold. Hope Uzodinma, you see, is the Sarikin Fulani of Imo State, of Igbo land. The court administrator, the same Omotosho who sentenced Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment, is the same Omotosho who declared that Hope Uzodinma win election, which he didn't win. And the acrimonial issue and political progress continue hitting the polity today, that if you are not a criminal from Imo State, a pure criminal, a pure bandit, a pure terrorist, you can never be a governor of Imo State. Permit me to say that many people came into the matter of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because he committed no offense and deserved not to suffer like a criminal. Former President of Nigeria, in the person of Goodluck Ebelechukwu Jonathan, spoke on the matter of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has to be released unconditionally, not to be tortured, not to be frustrated, not to be killed, because he is fighting for freedom. He's not a terrorist. At the same time, so many people from Niger Delta, like Edwin Clark, who is late today, told Lady Buhari to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and make it clear that self-determination is not a crime and self-defense is not a crime. Since Nigeria government is a terrorist government and the people are dying on daily basis, and the so-called government does not care because they are the one who orchestrate it in order for Fulanization and Islamization agenda to take place, so that the Sharia law will supersede international law in Nigeria. Sharia law is terrorist law. It's not human being law. So, a lot of people have come into the matter of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in order to make it clear to the whole world that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. Canada came into Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's case. And from there, Canada declare and decree that they don't want to set eyes on Nigerian politicians in their country. No matter how prominent you are, they will send you back to sender. Such as Ribado and former Chief Defense Staff of Nigeria, General Christopher Musa, and IGP of Nigeria, as they were traveling to Canada, they were sent back from the embassy. Canadian embassy did not approve it, did not allow them to travel to Canada because they are terrorists, carrying bombs, grenades in their portfolios and in their bags. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a long story, but we must told it. We must tell it. The United Nations was the first to order Nigeria government to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and compensate him for infringing his human right. Because the way which they went and kidnapped him was illegal. Now tell me, when Nigeria judiciary have become more perfect, more intellectual, more accurate, consistent, competing with international community, for Nigeria government to have override and violated the UN order to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and compensating him. You can see the impunity, all right? As well, you should understand that Nigeria Federal High Court mandated the Nigeria government as they discharged and acquitted Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and said an order that no court shall visit this matter anymore. Did you know that Nigeria government bent on not releasing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu must die? Which country do you think that run this kind of law if it is not a terroristic country? People who delight in killings, people who believes in killings, people who believes in destruction, in stealing, kidnapping and raping. This is the only country who can behave like this. And the Supreme Court of Nigeria discharged and acquitted Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and the Nigeria government hold him down. You see, they don't obey their own law. They don't obey international law, which they signed treaty with them. But some stupid Nigerian journalists will come to the social media and begin to tell you that Nigeria is a sovereign state, that international community must respect Nigeria territorial integrity. This is bullshit. Both Nigeria media gutter, we are being bribed. They don't say the truth. They can't tell you the truth. If UN, Israel, Canada, Europe, Asia, South Africa, Kenya, name them, Vienna, have discharged and acquitted Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, what right has Nigeria government to hold him? And finally said they convicted him. Just within 1 hour, Omotosho have fastened up and convicted him and sent him to life jail sentence and push him to Sokoto, where terrorists can easily kill him. But it is not so. God is a wise God. All what I'm telling people this very moment is to remember that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a just man. And at the same time, you should understand that the problems of Igbos are Igbos themselves. Now they want Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to die so that nobody will talk about Biafra. And they will continue killing Igbos, eating money with their families. They don't care. And during election, they will tell you to come and vote. Those people you have killed, are they coming out to vote? My people, don't forget that injustice to one is injustice to all. What Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is fighting now was what Dim Odumegwu fought. Injustice, political marigenda, marginalization of particular tribe, tribalism, nepotism, and they call him names. They call him a rebel. Don't forget that Ojukwu was the first to fight this battle we are fighting now in order to free Biafrans from Nigeria government terrorists. But it is very unfortunate that the same Ojukwu's wife, Bianca Ono, the daughter of Chukwuma Christian Ono late, is the one who betrayed Biafran's freedom fighters. Bianca Ono sold Mazi Simon Ekpa to Finland government, and they sentenced Simon Ekpa 6 years imprisonment for terrorism sponsor. Meanwhile, these Igbo elites and politicians supposed to fight for Igbos to protect and preserve the lives of Igbos. Rather, they joined Fulani cabals and Yoruba Jagabans to eliminate their fellow Igbos. Think about it. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what you understand. By this, my weeping and wailing for my people, because it does not gladden my heart, the pains and sorrows that Igbos are passing through in Nigeria. Arịrị erigbuola nwa enwe nne, arịrị erigbuola nwa enwe nna, arịrị ka anyị na-eri. Arịrị ka anyị na-eri, mana ihe niile na-eme anyị si n'ala Igbo. Bianca Ono betrayed Simon Ekpa, and he was sentenced to 6 years imprisonment. And Bianca Ono collected $500 million to bribe Finland and to bribe some groups from Biafra land that doesn't want Biafra nation to come. And she confiscated the rest of the money to herself. And this is why I call her the minister of terrorists. When Nigerians want to kill Igbos, when Nigerians want to destroy Biafrans, they will use the same Igbo people to destroy Igbos, to destroy Biafrans. After they destroy them, then they will sack you. Think about it. Nigeria government will use Igbo people to destroy Igbo land, destroy Igbo people, destroy Biafra land, and give them money and sack them. Most of the time, they don't eat that money. They will order for their assassination. They will assassinate them so that they will not live to tell the story on how they plotted against their fellow Igbos, their fellow Biafrans. It's a sacrilege, and it's a thing of sorrow, shedding of tears, morning, afternoon, and evening, non-stop. And I want to say, from here, if you are doubting me, you should understand that even Joe Biden, in his regime, that was when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped. Joe Biden stepped in and declared Mazi Nnamdi Kanu free. But being that Igbo politicians and Igbo elites are useless and greedy, they told late Buhari not to listen to Joe Biden and arranged with Attorney General then, Abubakar Malami, to make sure that they kill him. And this is why Malami said, only if we had known, we would have killed him in Kenya. So today it will not be like this. But I want to say, if you have killed him in Kenya, the news must still come up. And that is where, from Kebbi State, where you are coming from, down to Imo State and to Yoruba State, not even an ant will be alive. And let's see where Nigeria will be situated again. Because Sodom and Gomorrah will be better.